Alrighty, so happy Wednesday. Tonight's class will be like a 30-minute, get in and get it done workout. So we'll try to make sure we make it as tough as possible within these next 30 minutes. All right, perfect. So again, I have the long Pilates band. We're gonna start on our hands and knees to just kind of warm up our spine a little bit. So we'll start off on our hands and knees. We'll find a spot with your wrists lined up right about underneath your shoulders, knees stacked right underneath your hips. You can have your choice of feet flexed or tops of the feet flat on the mat. All right, and we'll just start here by checking in with your breath. Take a nice strong inhale in through your nose, and then a nice exhale out through your mouth. We'll add in a little bit of movement here. As you inhale, dip your belly button down towards the floor, reach your chest forward, gaze out towards the front edge of your mat. And then as you exhale, tuck your tailbone around your back and then look at your thighs as you nod your chin towards your chest. We'll get about 3 more like that. Inhale, the hips push back, belly button drops down towards the floor, chest reaches forward. And then exhale, we round through our spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. See if you can sequence through your spine. So moving through the hips first, like we're doing an anterior pelvic tilt, and then belly button dips, then the ribs reach forward, and then we gaze out in front. And then we'll start from the crown of our head, nod your chin to your chest, arch your upper back, pull your belly button in, and then tuck your tailbone in. We'll get 1 more here, starting from the tail. Inhale, the hips push, belly dips, ribs reach forward, and then we gaze up ahead. And then exhale, nod your chin, arch your shoulders, round your upper back, and then tuck your tailbone in. From here, we'll come back to a nice neutral spine. So finding a spot where the belly is just slightly lower than the hips, but we're scooping the belly button in and then lifting your chest up away from the floor. Your gaze will be right out in front of your hands. We'll take a nice big inhale in here and a nice big exhale. From here, you're just gonna step your right foot back behind you, just planting your toes down on the mat, and then bend your right knee, bring it back in. And then left leg steps out behind you, and then bend your knee and bring it in. We'll get 2 more of each. Right foot steps back, and then bend your knee and bring it in. And your left knee steps back, and then bend and bring it back in. We'll get 1 more of each. We step, and then bring it in, and then left leg step, and we'll bring it in. From here, you're gonna take your hands out just slightly in front of your shoulders. So that way we've got a little bit of space between just so that we could see all 10 fingers. We're gonna lower the elbows down so that the forearms come down onto the mat, and then lift your elbows up. So just warming up the upper body a little bit. Inhale to bend the elbows, chest gets a little bit lower, and then exhale, we lift back up. Our hips are pretty much staying in the same place throughout, so just the elbows drop, and then the elbows lift back up. We'll get 3 more here. Elbows come down, and then the elbows lift back up. And then 2 more, elbows come down, and we lift the elbows back up. And then 1 more, elbows down. Let's lift up. And then lower your elbows down and just hold it right there. So keeping your elbows down on the floor, you're gonna step your right foot back, hold the right foot back, and then step your left foot back as well too. Oh my gosh, we got into a plank somehow, weird. Let's bring the right knee back underneath the right hip, and then the left knee back underneath the left hip. We'll go left leg first. Left foot steps back, and then right foot follows, and then left foot steps in, and right foot follows. Going back to the right leg first. Right leg back, and then left, and then right leg in, and left. Left leg first. We step back, and then bring it in, and in. 1 more of each. Right foot first, and then left, and then right foot in, and left foot in. Last one. Left foot back, and right foot follows, and then left foot in, and right foot in. You're gonna lift up onto your hands, so lift the elbows up, and then push your hips back. Take a little child's pose, take a breather. Whew. All right, so warming things up. We'll work our way back up onto our hands and knees. If you do have a band, you're gonna wanna take your band and tie one end of the band around your right foot. All right, And you can do like a double knot with the band. If you don't have a band, no problem. You don't need the band to do this, but you do want to have a long tail so that you can hold on to the band while we're doing our movements. All right, I'm just gonna flip around. All right, so right foot has the band, and then left hand's gonna hold the band as well too. Alrighty, so we're back up on our hands and knees once we've got our band situated. You're gonna step your right leg back behind. So just planting the right toes down on the ground. We've got a little tension through the band, but not too much. You're gonna take your right hand up towards your forehead, and then you're just gonna open up, rotate over to, the left, and then we rotate back down to face the floor. So it'll be an inhale to rotate and open, and then exhale to rotate back down to the floor. So we're working on the stretch here because we have the resistance band, right? So the resistance band is adding a little bit of work even though we're stretching our muscles. This is great because now our muscles will be nice and strong even when they're in a lengthened out state. We've got about 2 more here. So there'll be an inhale to open up the chest, stretch it out, and then exhale to bring it back down. And we'll get 1 more, open up, and then come back down. You can take your left hand back down to the floor. We're gonna make our way down onto our forearms, keeping your right leg stretched out back behind you. From here, if you want, both hands can hold on to the strap or just the left hand, but we are just gonna do some leg lifts with our band. As we're getting set up here with our elbows on the floor, think about lifting your chest up away from the floor, and then make sure your gaze is right about at the bottom part of your thumbs or maybe out towards your fingers. We'll take a big breath in here. On your exhale, lift your right leg up away from the floor, and then inhale, lower back down. That's it. Exhale, we lift, and then inhale to lower. Our goal is to pretend like we're balancing a full glass of red wine on our lower back that we don't want to spill. So keep scooping the belly button in and think about keeping your hips nice and even. So we're not shifting our weight over to the left, but keeping our weight nice and centered. As you're doing your leg lift, think about lifting your chest up away from the floor so we're not creating any tension in our neck. We'll get 2 more just like that. And then this time we lift up and just hold it there. You're gonna tap your foot over to the left side and then lift your leg, bring it all the way up and over to the right side. So we swing our leg up and over to the left, tap down, and then swing it up and over to the right. And we'll just keep on moving like that, lifting up and tapping down, and then lifting up and lowering. We've got about 4 more on each side. Adding in this side-to-side motion is going to make our hips want to move side to side, but our goal is to stabilize our hips while we move our leg side to side. So again, lifting through those pelvic floor muscles, scooping the belly button in, and really stabilizing the hips. We'll get 2, and up and over, and then 1 more, and up and over. We'll meet again with our right leg lifted, straight back, straight in the center. Point your toes and just draw some small circles with your right leg. See if you can lift your chest up away from the floor a little bit more. Make sure your chin's not tucking in towards your chest. And then we'll take those circles in the opposite direction. Just drawing circles around. We've got 4 and 3. Last 2. And then 1, go ahead, bend your left knee, bring it in, and then lift up onto your hands once again. We'll place the band back into the left hand if we had switched hands. We've still got the band on our right hand. We're gonna do a little bit of, on our right foot, sorry. We're gonna do a little bit of balancing work next. So we'll send our right foot straight back again, and then stretch your left arm out in front of you. From here, we're gonna lift up our arm and leg at the same time, pulling on the band on both ends, and then we lower our hand and our foot back down. They're still in that lengthened out state. So we exhale, lift up our arm, lift up our leg, and then we lower everything back down. As you're lifting up, think about lifting up away from your right shoulder, and then keep your gaze looking towards the front edge of your mat. We've got about 5 more here. Exhale, we lengthen, working those spinal extensor muscles, challenging our obliques. And then 4 more here. And we'll go 3 more. And then last 2. And then next time we lift up, we'll just hold it there. Exhale to lift up and hold. We'll keep our left arm up. Just tap your toes down and then lift them back up. It's an inhale to tap and an exhale to lift. We've got 6 more. And then 5. Making sure your left shoulder's not creeping up by your ears. Last 4. And 3. Last 2. And then last one, lift up and then lower everything down. Yahoo! Let's push our hips back. Take a little child's pose. That's so exciting. We get to do that all on the other side. All right, so we'll work our way over onto the opposite side. So taking the band onto your left foot this time. And again, all these moves totally can be done without a band as well too. The band just makes the movement a little bit different. All right, so once we have our band set up, we'll have our wrists lined up right underneath our shoulders, knees stacked right underneath your hips. You're gonna step your left foot back this time, so the left foot stretches out. And then your right hand comes to maybe like the back of your like ear or to your forehead, wherever it feels most comfortable. And then we'll take a nice inhale, open up, rotate over to the right. And then exhale, rotate back down to the floor. So it's an inhale to rotate over to the right. And then exhale to rotate back down to the floor. So remember, we're stretching through the ribs, the obliques as we open up. And then we rotate back down to center. We've got 3 more. Inhale to open, open, open. And then exhale to rotate back down. And we'll go 2 more. Rotate open. And then back to center. And we'll get 1 more. Rotate open. And then come back to center. From here, right hand comes down. And we work our way all the way down onto our forearm. So elbows come right underneath the shoulders, taking the place of your wrists. I like to hold on with both hands, but you could do just the right hand if that's what you did on the other side. From here, we'll start with our leg lifts, taking a nice big inhale, lifting our chest up away from the floor. Exhale, lift your left leg up, and then inhale, lower back down. These first few as we're lifting up, our hips are gonna try to sneak around and get away with stuff, right? Our hips are gonna wiggle or shift over to the right. And we're just trying to figure out how much do my abs and pelvic floor muscles need to work in order to help me maintain this nice neutral pelvis and keep my hips nice and even on the floor. All right, well, in space, they're not on the floor. We'll go about 2 more here. Exhale to lift. And then inhale, lower. Make sure there's no tension in your neck and shoulders. And next time we lift up, let's just hold it there. Move your leg over to the right and tap down to the floor. And then lift up and over and tap down over to the left. It's an exhale to lift and an inhale to tap. Really working here through the hip, moving side to side. But keeping our pelvis nice and steady, even though our leg is moving around. Checking in again with our shoulders and our neck, lifting our chest up away from the floor. We're gonna go for 3 more here. We lift up and swing it over, and then up, hand over. Last 2. And then we get 1 more on each side. And we'll meet back in the center with our leg lifted, reaching straight back. You can point your toes, maybe readjust your shoulders and your neck to lift, and then draw those small circles. Nice, small, controlled circles. Ooh, we want our leg in parallel, so make sure your knee isn't rotating, opening over to the side. We'll go circles in the opposite direction. Nice, smooth, and fluid circles. We're going for 4. And 3. I started to draw a square for a second. 2. And then 1. Go ahead, bend your left knee. We're going to come all the way up onto our hands next. All right, right hand has the strap again. Left foot is still tied up, all right? We'll stretch your left leg back nice and long, and then reach your right arm out in front. Taking a nice big inhale, we're looking out towards the front edge of our mat. Lift your right arm and left leg, and then lower back down. So it's an exhale to lift and reach, and then inhale to lower, right? And you can play around with how much tension you're using on the band, because this is a lot of work for our spinal extensor muscles, as well as our obliques, to help us maintain our spine in this position, even while one leg and one arm are moving around. We've got about 3 more here. Exhale, lift, and then inhale, lower. And we'll get 2 more. Try to pull your belly button in. And then next time you lift up, just hold it there. Exhale to lift up and hold. Tap your toes down and then lift up. As we tap the toes, can you make sure your shoulders aren't creeping up by your ears? Can you see if you can lift your chest up away from the floor a little bit more? We're going for 3. Woo, this side feels a little heavier than the other side too. And then last one. We'll lower down, bring it all the way in, and whew, take a child's pose. All right, so as we work our way up out of our child's pose, we're gonna take our band off from our foot. You can untie the band if you want. Depending on how long your band is, you may be able to just play without it. We just need about like shoulder width distance of a band. So your choice if you want to untie or leave as is. But we're going to make our way all the way down, so that way we're lying face down on the mat. And so we just warmed up our spinal extensors, and so now we're going to make them work, okay? Arms are going to stretch out nice and long out in front of you. I've got my thumb looped underneath the band, and then my pointer finger on top of the band. And then the band's kind of like feeding through my hand, and I'm pressing the band down into the floor. All right, so again, my thumb's under and the rest of my palm is on top of the band. Arms are stretched out overhead. Palms are facing down into the floor and pressing the band down. Arms are just slightly wider than the mat, so just about shoulder width distance, slightly wider. We're gonna take a nice big inhale in here and a nice big exhale. I know, gotta catch our breath. All right, on your next inhale, we're gonna start with a little spinal extension. It'll be an inhale to lift your head and chest up away from the floor, pressing your arms down into the mat. As you do so, think about pulling your shoulder blades down and back. Exhale, we deflate like a balloon and lower all the way back down. So we're breathing in so much so that our head and chest lift up away from the floor. We can see our band out in front, but we can't see the wall up ahead of us. And then exhale, we lower all the way back down. All right, we've got a couple more here. Inhale, we lift up our head, our chest. We think about pulling the shoulder blades down and back as we press our palms into the floor. And then exhale, we lower all the way back down. Let's get 2 more. Big inhale to lengthen and lift. See if you can lift a little bit more of your chest up away from the floor just by breathing in. And then exhale, lower all the way back down. Next time we lift up, we'll hold it there. Nice big inhale to lengthen and lift up. On your exhale, just lift your hands up to hover up away from the floor. And then inhale, lower the hands back down. See if you can lift your chest up a little bit more. Exhale, hands lift up away. And then inhale, hands lower back down. We've got 2 more like that. Lifting up your hands. And then lower back down. 1 more here. We lift. And then lower. And set your head down. Take a breather. Ooh. All right, we're going to bend the elbows so that your elbows come down underneath your shoulders and hands are lined up with your wrists. We're still holding on to the band. You can choose if you need more or less tension for this one. So same motion happening with our spine. We'll take that nice big inhale to lift your head and chest up. From here, on your exhale, left hand's gonna lift up and you reach your left arm forward. We've got just the slightest amount of tension on the band. And then inhale, bend your left arm, lift your chest up a little higher. Exhale, left arm reaches forward. Right arm reaches forward, and then inhale, bend your arm. and lower all the way down with your exhale. We're gonna go 2 on each side here. Taking a nice big inhale, lift your head and chest up away. Exhale, stretch your left arm out nice and long. And then inhale, bend your left arm. We're gonna do one more on the left. Exhale, we reach it out nice and long. And then exhale, bend and bring it in. We go ahead, right arm up. We exhale, stretch it out. And then inhale to pull in. And then one more with the right. And we bend and bring it in. Set your right arm down and lower all the way down. All right, so that's gonna be our option 1, layer 1. If we wanna add in a little bit more, the hands will lift as the torso lifts. We take a nice big inhale, lifting your head and chest, hands lift up away from the floor. Again, slide the shoulder blades down and back, and then exhale, lower everything back down. Ooh, it's getting heavy with those arms. Big inhale, we lengthen and lift up, and then exhale, we lower everything back down. Let's get 2 more. Inhale to lengthen and lift. And then exhale, lower back down. Next time you lift up, hold it there. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, the left arm stretches out long. Right arm resists that pull. And then pull your left arm back in. Right arm reaches out nice and long. And then we bring it back in. Let's do one more each side. Left arm stretch. And then lift up the ribs a little bit more. Right arm reach forward. And then bring it in and lower all the way down. Yahoo! All right, I've been spending a lot of time sitting, so we got to work my upper back. Thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead, press into your palms. Push back into your child's pose. Ooh, so now we get to stretch it all out. All right, rolling up nice and slow. We'll make our way all the way down onto your backside next. So you can just place your band off to the side for starters. All righty. So lying down on our back, right, after all that work, lying face down, this feels great. All right, let's go ahead, grab a hold of your knees. So pull your knees in so that they're stacked right above your hips, and then just start to draw some small circles on the mat with your back. And then we'll take circles in the opposite direction. All right, from here, we'll go ahead, find again the knees stacked right on top of your hips. We've got our hands holding onto our shins. We'll take a nice big inhale. On your exhale, nod your chin to your chest and then curl your body forward, just allowing your hands to slide down your shins. And then inhale, roll all the way back down. Head comes down last and hands slide back up. Exhale, nod your chin and curl it forward. And then inhale, roll it all the way back down. Last 2 like that, just working a little flexion. Exhale, we curl it up and stretch. And then inhale, we roll it all the way back down. On this next one, we'll roll it up and hold it there. Exhale to roll up and hold. We're gonna take our hands right behind our head, but try to keep that nice C-curve shape. From here, right leg stretches out nice and long. And then bend your right knee in. Left leg stretches out long. And then we bend and bring it in. 3 more of each. We stretch it out. And then bring it in. And then left leg. And curl up a little higher. Last 2. Right leg stretch. And then pull. And left leg stretch. And pull. Last 1 of each. Right leg. And bring it in. And then left leg. And bring it in. Place your hands back on your shins and then roll your head down. All right, so feet will come flat on the floor. We're gonna take our arms out nice and wide to make a T shape. Feet are gonna come out just slightly wider than hip distance apart. Heels are right on top of, knees are right on top of the heels. We'll take a big breath in our neutral spine. Exhale, find imprint spine, lifting up through your pelvic floor muscles, and then roll your hips all the way up into a bridge. We'll take a nice big inhale here at the top, And then exhale, roll back down through your spine. So lifting up through the pelvic floor muscles, belly button scoops in, and we roll, roll, roll all the way back down. We'll get 3 more like that. Big inhale at the bottom. Exhale, we roll it up. It's like we're peeling our spine up away from the floor. And then we get to the top and we're like, ooh, just a big breath in. And then exhale, we roll it all the way back down. We'll get 2 more here. Big inhale. Exhale, we roll it up. The glutes turn on. We lengthen through our back. Inhale to hold. And then exhale, we roll it all the way back down. All right, next time we lift up, we'll hold it there. Nice big inhale. Exhale, we roll it up. Taking a nice big breath in here. On your exhale, just lower your hips down just a little bit and then bring them back up with your inhale. So it's an exhale to let the hips drop just a tad, and then inhale, bring them back up. We've got 4 more here. The feet are a little bit wider, so we should feel outer hips working a little bit more here to help us stabilize. Working to feel those glutes work to lift us, and then lower. Press down through the big toe and the pinky toes. Last 2 here. We go down a little and then back up. And we'll get 1 more. Lift up the hips, hold it there. We'll just go little pulses up at the top, little squeezes. We've got 5 and 4. Here we go, 3. Woo, and 2. And then last one, hips up, and then roll it all the way down. Oh, all right, go ahead, grab a hold of your knees, pull them in towards your chest. You're gonna nod your chin to your chest, peeling your upper back up away from the floor. Hands come back behind your thighs. We're gonna roll forwards and backwards. And then we'll make our way up to seated. All right. So from here, we're gonna work our abs from a seated position. You can place your feet down, maybe heels up or feet flat. Knees can have a little bit of a wide angle here. We'll start seated with our hands right behind our knees. On our exhale, you're gonna tuck your tailbone and roll your body back to create a C curve, allowing your hands to kind of slide up your thighs. And then inhale, we stack the spine and sit back up. So it's an exhale to tuck the tailbone, roll your body back, pull your abs in, and then we sit back up nice and tall. We only want to go as low as we can keep our shoulders from crunching up to our ears, right? And only as low as feels okay for our lower back. So if you start feeling any tension through your lower back, maybe come up just a little bit higher. All right, we're gonna go 2 more here. Exhale, we roll back. And then we roll back up. And then we'll get 1 more, roll it back. And then roll back up. All right, from here, we're gonna go ahead, step your feet in a little bit closer so that you can come up onto your tippy toes. You're gonna take your right foot up away from the floor, and then take your left foot up. Woo, and then set your right foot down, and set your left foot down. Let's try the other side. So left foot comes up, and then right foot comes up, and then left foot down, and right foot down. So there's our option 1, layer 1. Let's go right foot up and left foot up. We can work our balance here, or we can work our pelvic tilts here. So tucking the tailbone, rocking back behind the sit bones, and then coming back forward. It's like such a small motion, but you'll be able to feel your abs and your pelvic floor muscles working. We're going 2 more. And then 1 more. And then set your feet down, and let's fold over the legs. Take a breather. All right, so we're adding in layers. Option on this next layer is to go for that full-on rolling like a ball, kind of like what we started with, but now we know what we want our pelvic floor to do. We're also adding in that C-curve shape with our spine. So we take the hands behind our thighs, take your feet up into that little floating tabletop. From here, tuck your tailbone, round your back. You're gonna roll all the way to your shoulder blades and then roll all the way back up to your sit bones. All right, we want to keep the C-curve shape throughout. So we tuck the tailbone, rock it back, and then roll back forward. All right, as we keep rolling here, we're making sure that our head does not touch the floor and that we keep the abs scooped in. We've got 2 more here. Here we go, 2. Ooh, and 1 more. And come all the way up. Stretch your legs out nice and long. Reach your arms up to the sky. And then fold forward over your legs. All right, we'll start to walk your hands in, roll it up nice and slow. And then just roll your shoulders back. Okay, so nice and quick, 30-minute workout. Let's find a nice position on our hands and knees so we can stretch out our hips a little bit. All right, so from our hands and knees, you're gonna take your right foot and just step in between your hands. So right foot will come up in between your hands. And then from here, you can straighten out your back left leg just to give your left hip flexor a nice little stretch. And there we go, we're in a lunge. Let's lower the left knee down and then do that again 2 more times. So straightening out the left leg. And then bend your left knee, bring it down. Next time you straighten out your left leg, let's hold it there. Planting your left hand down, we're gonna open your right arm up to the side, rotate over. If this is creating any tension in your back left knee, feel free to set the left knee down. All right, from here, right hand comes down, and then left knee goes down. We'll start to walk our hands back and just straighten out your front right leg. Give your hamstring a little stretch. Whew. All right, walking your hands forward, bend your right knee, and then send your right leg back so that you're back on your hands and knees. Draw some circles with your hips here. And then circles the other way. All right, so coming back onto our hands and knees, you're gonna take your left foot, step it forward right in between your hands. All right, from here, we straighten out the back right leg. And then bend your right knee, bring it back down. We've got 2 more. I kind of like to squeeze my right glute as I straighten out my right leg. It makes me feel like my hip's getting a little bit more of a stretch, right? So working that opposing muscle. And then next time you straighten out your right leg, let's just hold it right there. We can plant your right hand, open up over to the left as the left arm reaches up towards the sky. And then place your left hand back down on the floor. Bend your right knee, and then just start to walk your hands back. All right, walking your hands forward, we'll send the left foot back. And again, just draw those small circles on the mat with your back, with your hips, and then circles the other way. All right, from here, we're gonna go knees still stacked underneath your hips, but just walk your hands forward. And then walk your hands a little bit more forward so that you're kind of dipping your chest down towards the floor and pushing your hips back. So nice little armpit stretch here. It's almost like a child's pose, except our hips are staying stacked right on top of our knees. And it feels nice. You can rest your head on the floor, or maybe even grab a little rolled up towel to place underneath your head. All right, slowly start to walk your hands in so they come underneath your shoulders. And then press all the way up onto your hands and knees. Whew. We'll come all the way to a seated position. You can find whatever position is most comfortable for you. Legs crossed, legs long, whatever works. All right, we'll take a nice big inhale. Right arm can reach up and over to the left. And then exhale, we'll sweep across the front. And then inhale, left arm reaches up. And then exhale, we sweep. And we'll get one more big inhale to reach up and over. Exhale, sweep across. And then left arm reach. And exhale, sweep. We'll roll it up nice and slow. Roll your shoulders back. And there's our Wednesday night Pilates party. Yahoo! All right. Thanks for coming to play, everybody.